Have you ever felt like you're doing all the right things, visualizing, affirming, setting intentions, yet your manifestations just aren't clicking into place? It's like an invisible wall is holding you back, and you can't quite identify what it is. If this resonates with you, stay with me. Today, we're going to explore those hidden systemic barriers that might be influencing your ability to manifest and how to gently begin to unravel them. Hello, and welcome. I'm Rosa Martins, and I'm here to support you in navigating the complexities of your inner and outer worlds through a systemic lens. Many of us are familiar with the concept of manifestation, the idea that our thoughts and intentions can bring our desires into reality. It's a powerful concept, and it holds a lot of truth. However, the path to manifestation isn't always as simple as think it and it will happen. Often there are deeper, often unconscious patterns at play. Patterns that originate not just within us, but within our family systems, our ancestry, and the collective experiences that have shaped us. When we talk about systemic barriers to manifestation, we're looking beyond individual limiting beliefs. We're considering how the loyalties we hold, the unspoken agreements within our family, or even the unresolved traumas of previous generations might be subtly yet powerfully influencing our capacity to receive, to create, and to hold on to what we desire. For instance, you might consciously wish for financial abundance, but if there's an unconscious family pattern of poverty or sacrifice, you might find yourself self sabotaging or struggling to keep money, not because you're doing anything wrong personally, but because you're unconsciously honoring an older, deeper allegiance. This isn't about blame, it's about awareness. It's about empowering you to see the invisible threads that might be tugging at your life, allowing you to gently reweave your own tapestry. From a systemic perspective, some of the most common barriers to manifestation arise from what we call systemic entanglements or unconscious loyalties. Let's unpack a few of these. 1. Unresolved trauma and suffering. If previous generations experienced significant loss, hardship, or trauma, there can be an unconscious pull to remain loyal to that suffering. We might feel undeserving of joy, peace, or abundance if our ancestors struggled greatly. It's as if a part of us believes that to thrive would be to betray those who suffered. We aren't consciously choosing this, it's an unconscious pattern of solidarity. 2. Exclusions and unacknowledged members. Every family system has an order, and every member, even those who were forgotten, ostracized, or whose stories were hidden, has a place. When someone is excluded from the family consciousness, perhaps a child who died young, a difficult relative, or an ancestor whose actions were deemed shameful, the system often seeks to restore balance. This can manifest through later generations unconsciously carrying the burden or fate of the excluded member, sometimes blocking their own path forward, including their manifestations. Taking on burdens that aren't yours. We often carry burdens for our parents, grandparents, or other family members out of love, thinking we can help them or somehow alleviate their pain. This can mean taking on their fears about money, their struggles with relationships, or their feelings of unworthiness. While this comes from a place of deep love, it can inadvertently limit our own capacity to create and receive because we are still carrying energy that isn't ours to carry. 4. The order of love. In systemic work, we observe certain orders that allow love to flow freely. For example, children come after parents, and those who came before have their place honored. When these orders are disturbed, perhaps a child tries to parent their parents, or an ancestor is disrespected, it can create blockages. Our manifestations, particularly those involving partnership or our own place in the world, can be impacted if we are unconsciously trying to fulfill a role that doesn't belong to us in the natural order of the system. Understanding these dynamics isn't about assigning blame or making excuses. It's about gaining clarity. It's about recognizing that you are part of something larger and that your individual journey is interwoven with the threads of your lineage. Once we bring these unconscious patterns into awareness, we create the possibility for gentle shifts, for releasing what isn't yours, and for taking your rightful place with strength and clarity. In my practice, working with clients, I've had the privilege of witnessing profound transformations when these systemic layers are addressed. For example, a client who consistently struggled with career stagnation, despite being highly skilled and motivated, began to understand that she was unconsciously aligning with a grandparent's fate who had lost everything in a past economic crisis. The loyalty to that struggle was so deep that any opportunity for advancement felt wrong or unsafe on an unconscious level. Through therapeutic exploration, often utilizing tools like family constellations or even insights from a Jungian therapeutic tarot reading, we gently brought this unconscious pattern into awareness. It wasn't about erasing the past or disrespecting her grandparents' experience, but about acknowledging it with love and then consciously choosing to step into her own path with integrity. With this newfound awareness, she was able to distinguish between her own desires and the old family pattern, allowing her to finally accept a promotion she truly deserved and embark on a fulfilling new career trajectory. Another example involved a client who found it impossible to maintain healthy, committed relationships. Through our work, it became clear that she was unconsciously mirroring a pattern of being alone from her mother's side of the family, where several women had experienced deep heartbreak and isolation. By honoring their journeys and gently internally saying yes to her own desire for connection, she began to attract and build a relationship that truly nourished her. These are just a couple of examples of how these subtle, often invisible, systemic threads can influence our lives. My role is to hold a space where you can explore these patterns without judgment, empowering you to gain clarity and make conscious choices that align with your deepest desires, rather than being unconsciously bound by the past. So, how can you begin to explore these potential systemic barriers for yourself? Here's a simple reflective exercise you can do. Step 1. Identify a stagnant manifestation. Think about something specific you've been trying to manifest. Perhaps a career goal, a certain level of financial stability, a fulfilling relationship, or a sense of inner peace that just hasn't materialized despite your efforts. Step 2. Reflect on your family history. Now, take a moment to gently consider your family system, both your parents' sides. Are there any recurring patterns of struggle, lack, or difficulty related to your manifestation goal in your family lineage? E.g., if you want financial abundance, were there generations who experienced poverty, bankruptcy, or deep debt? Were there any significant losses, traumas, or unspoken difficult fates in your family history that might still carry an energetic charge? Were there any individuals who were perhaps excluded, forgotten, or whose stories were particularly challenging? Is there anyone in your family you feel an intense, almost overwhelming loyalty towards, to the point where you might unconsciously be carrying something for them? Step 3. Gentle inquiry. As you hold your manifestation goal in your mind, and then gently consider these family patterns, ask yourself these questions, allowing any feelings or thoughts to arise without judgment. Am I, perhaps unconsciously, loyal to a pattern of struggle or lack in my family regarding this goal? Would achieving this manifestation feel like betraying someone who suffered greatly in my family? Am I carrying a burden or a story that isn't truly mine, preventing me from moving forward? Exploring these systemic dimensions can be a deeply empowering process. If you feel ready to dive deeper into understanding these unconscious patterns that might be influencing your life and your manifestations, I invite you to connect with me. My practice, Rosa Martin's Holistic Therapy, offers a safe and supportive space to explore these dynamics through systemic therapy, family constellations, and Jungian therapeutic tarot, powerful tool to understand your unique life path and challenges. Remember, your capacity to manifest is inherent. Sometimes the path simply requires a deeper look, a gentle acknowledgement of the unseen forces that have shaped us. By bringing awareness to these systemic patterns, you're not just changing your future, you're also offering a gift to your lineage, creating new possibilities for generations to come. Thank you for joining me today. May your journey be filled with clarity, gentle insights, and profound healing. If this conversation resonated with you, I would be so grateful if you would consider subscribing to my channel. It helps me reach more people who might benefit from these insights. And if you feel moved to do so, a simple heart emoji in the comments section would mean a lot, letting me know this message found you well. Of course, a like on this video is always appreciated too. Your engagement helps this community grow, and I truly value your presence here.